Hello, hello, my beautiful Royal Sussex Squad. I'm so thrilled to be back with you today because we have to talk about the latest nonsense that's come out of the British tabloids and their dusty little echo chamber. You already know the drill. Every time Meghan Markle so much as breathes, these bitter old commentators lose their collective minds. But this week, they've cooked up something especially juicy. They've decided to pit Meghan against the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, as if that's going to convince anyone that Meghan isn't still the global force she's always been. So let's unpack this. Let's call out the hypocrisy, and let's celebrate Harry and Meghan's power while we're at it. You know what's so predictable? The way these royal reporters try to twist the narrative every chance they get. Meghan can't win with them. If she's working quietly, she's too silent. If she's speaking up, she's too loud. If she's smiling, she's fake. If she's serious, she's cold. It's exhausting to watch, but it's also the clearest sign that Meghan is living rent-free in their heads 24/7. And why? Because she has something they'll never understand. A mind of her own, a spirit that refuses to be crushed, and a global platform that has nothing to do with those crusty old palaces. So here we are watching them compare Meghan to Sophie. This time they're saying Meghan is just an influencer, while Sophie has real influence. I had to laugh when I read that. Meghan, just an influencer, that's rich. Coming from people who are basically paid to gossip for a living. Let's be real, Meghan has more impact in a single Instagram post than Sophie has had in a lifetime of polite curtsies. That's not shade, that's the truth. And before anyone comes for me, let me be clear. Sophie's work on sexual violence is important and deserves recognition. But what these royal watchers are doing is pitting women against each other to prop up their boring little system. It's classic divide and conquer. It's classic misogyny, and it's pathetic. Because you know what? We can celebrate Sophie's work without trying to erase everything Meghan has done and is still doing. They love to say Meghan is all style and no substance, but let's take a little trip down memory lane, shall we? Meghan was out there advocating for gender equality and clean water in Rwanda and India before she ever stepped foot in a royal palace. She was giving powerful speeches at the UN. She was fighting for girls' education and challenging the media's portrayal of women way back in her Suits days. This is not some new hobby she picked up to look good in the press. This is her life's work, and she's been consistent every step of the way. And then there's her work since leaving the royal family. Let's not forget the Archetypes podcast, amplifying women's voices and challenging the stereotypes that have held women back for generations. Let's not forget the Invictus Games that she and Harry continue to champion, lifting up wounded veterans and their families. Let's not forget the children's books, the sustainable lifestyle brand, the mental health advocacy. That's real influence, real impact, and no amount of petty headlines is going to diminish it. But oh, these commentators, they'll never admit it. Because if they do, they have to admit that Meghan didn't need the monarchy to thrive. She didn't need the titles or the fancy palaces or the golden carriages. She took what she learned, she took her experiences, good and bad, and she built something bigger than any of them could ever dream of. That's what terrifies them. That's what keeps them up at night. And let's talk about the so-called compromise they're always going on about. Richard Fitzwilliams had the nerve to say that Meghan should have compromised more to stay in the royal family, as if her happiness and mental health were just collateral damage for their dusty old traditions. Compromise? Meghan gave it everything she had, and what did she get in return? Racist headlines, smear campaigns, and a family that couldn't even protect her from the venom of their own friends in the media. She compromised every day she was there, and still they found ways to paint her as the villain. And let's be honest, if Meghan had stayed, they'd still be tearing her down. They'd be calling her too ambitious, too loud, too American. They'd never be satisfied, because Meghan represents everything they can't control. She's not going to play the demure little duchess who smiles and says nothing while the world burns. She's not going to be their scapegoat, and she's not going to be their silent prop. So when they call Meghan just an influencer, I want to remind them that influence isn't about titles, it's about impact. And Meghan's impact? It's global, it's transformative, and it's only getting bigger. She's not asking for permission. She's out here making moves and changing lives. Now, let's pivot to the other side of this nonsense. The way these commentators refuse to hold Kate Middleton to the same standard. Isn't it fascinating? Sophie is out there visiting war zones, and they're praising her to the skies, which is fine. But where's the same energy for Kate? Kate, who's been married into this family for over a decade, and has spent most of that time either hiding behind palace gates or commissioning videos about the seasons. Where's Kate's advocacy for survivors of conflict-related sexual violence? Where's Kate's passion for women's rights? Crickets, you won't hear them say. Kate is struggling to do anything at all, while Sophie has influence in ways that really matter. No, Kate is always the golden child, the future queen, the perfect English rose. It's laughable, because if we're being real, Kate's work is about as groundbreaking as a soggy cup of tea. She's the definition of show up, smile, leave. There's no depth, no passion, just carefully curated photo ops and a lot of empty words. And don't think for a second that Meghan's decision to leave hasn't forced Kate to step up in ways she never did before. Meghan raised the bar, and suddenly Kate had to do more than wave politely. But even now, it's clear who has the real passion and drive. Meghan's voice is powerful because it comes from a place of authenticity. She's not performing for the cameras, she's speaking from her heart, and people can feel that. That's why every time
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle at risk of losing royal title.
That's why every time she posts
UK's royal family prepared to strip Harry and Markle of Sussex titles.
She's an
New
icon,
media report
and no
makes
amount of
big
tabloid
claims.
spin is going to change that.
Meghan and Harry in
And let's
fresh
talk about how
trouble.
these comparisons
What
always
next
leave
for the
Harry
royal
out of the
couple?
conversation.
Prince
These
Harry and
trolls love
Meghan
to act
Markle
like
might
Harry
be
is
in
just
fresh
tagging
trouble,
along for the ride, but
according
let's
to
not
some
forget,
reports.
Harry is
After
right there
relinquishing
beside
their
Meghan every
Her
step of the
Royal
way.
Highness titles,
He's doing the work.
Prince Harry and
He's
Meghan
advocating
might
for
lose
mental
out on
health.
their
He's
Sussex
championing
titles
veterans,
as well.
and he's speaking
Since
out against
Meghan's
the very system
lifestyle
that
show
tried
with
to crush
Love,
his wife.
Meghan premiered
That
on
takes
Netflix.
guts.
The
That
former
takes a level of
American
commitment
actress
and
has
loyalty that
attracted
these
much
old men in the
attention.
royal commentariat
With
wouldn't
positive,
understand if
Meghan
it
has
slapped
also
them in the
received
face.
negative reviews.
Harry saw how that
One
system
particular
destroyed
bit
his
from the
mother.
show hasn't
He
gone
wasn't about
down
to
well
let it
with
do
the
the same to his
netizens, and
wife.
now it seems the
together,
same hasn't gone
Harry
down
and
well
Meghan
with
have
the
become
British
a force
royals
for good
as well.
that transcends
As
the
seen in the
titles and
second
crowns
episode of the
and the petty
Lifestyle
little palace
show,
intrigues.
Meghan and Mindy
They're
Kaling
living
prepared
proof
for a
that
garden
you
party
don't need a
and talked
title
about
to
foods
make a
they
difference.
ate when they were kids.
All you need is the courage
During
to
the
stand up for
episode,
what's right
Meghan
and the
was
heart
seen
to keep
correcting
going,
Mindy and
even when
telling
the
her
world
she
is
is
against
Sussex
you.
now.
And let's be honest,
Later,
there's a reason
Meghan,
they're
while
so
speaking
obsessed
to a
with
media
tearing
network, said that
Meghan
the
down.
Sussex name is part
Because
of their
every
love
time
story
Meghan
that
wins,
she will tell
it
Prince
exposes
Archie and
just
Princess
how
Lilibet
hollow
about
the
one
rest of that
day.
institution really
Meghan
is.
said as kids
It
grow,
exposes the
they are
fact that for
excited to
all
know
their
how their
centuries of
mother and
tradition,
father met.
they've never been able
She
to
said that a
cultivate a woman
huge
with
part of our
Meghan's
love story
strength,
is that they
vision,
share the
and
name
compassion.
Sussex.
That's why
But
they
if
can't
some
stop
reports
talking
are to
about
be
her.
believed, there's a
That's why they
possibility
keep her
that
name in
Meghan
their
and Prince
mouths
Harry
day
may
after
face
day.
losing their Duchess and
They'll
Duke of
tell you that
Sussex
Meghan's
titles.
work is soft.
According to reports,
But let me tell you,
that might
there's
happen
nothing
if they
soft about
continue
going out
making
into the
critical
world and
remarks
using your
about the
voice to
royal
challenge
family.
centuries of
Prince Harry and
inequality.
Meghan Markle
There's
got
nothing
married in
soft about speaking up for the
2018,
voiceless.
and the
There's
couple
nothing
stepped down
soft
as
about
senior
building
royals
something
in
for yourself
2020.
when the system tries
As
to
part
shut
of
you
their
out.
agreement,
That's not
Buckingham
soft.
Palace
That's
stated that they would no
revolutionary.
longer
So
use
let
the
them
His
write their
Her
petty
Royal
little
Highness
articles.
honorifics,
Let them try to
as they
twist
were
the
no
narrative.
longer working
Because
members
at the
of
end
the
of the
royal
day, the
family.
world sees who's really
However,
doing the work.
while they
The world
relinquished
sees
their
Meghan
H
standing tall
titles,
and proud,
they retained
unbothered
their
by their
titles
noise,
of Duke and
and the world
Duchess
is
of
watching
Sussex.
as she and Harry
When
keep
King
building,
Charles
keep
ascended
growing,
to the
and keep
throne in
inspiring
September
millions.
2022
So,
after
to the
Queen
haters out
Elizabeth
there,
II
keep
passed
talking.
away,
Every
Archie
time
and
you try to
Lilibet
diminish
were
Meghan,
afforded the
you're really
titles
just
of Prince
proving her
and
power.
Princess.
You're proving
A
that
royal
she's a
source
threat
told
to
the
the
media
status quo
network
you're so
that the
desperate
royal
to protect.
family is considering a
And to
potential
Meghan,
sanction
keep
that could be
shining,
enforced
keep
if Prince
speaking,
Harry
keep
and Meghan
changing the
Markle
game.
publicly
We see
criticize
you
the
and we're with
monarchy
you.
again.
All right, my
It is
beautiful
believed
Sussex
that
squad.
stripping them of their
Thank you for
Sussex
hanging out with
titles
me
would
for this deep
require an
dive.
act of
I know
Parliament.
it's been a lot.
This
but
warning
these
follows years of
conversations
public
matter.
statements by
We
the
have to keep
couple that have
calling
been
out
seen as
the double
damaging to the
standards,
monarchy.
keep amplifying Meghan and
Remember,
Harry's work, and keep
Meghan and Harry
reminding the
first
world
made
that their
waves
story
with their
isn't defined by
2021
the British
interview with
media. It's
Oprah
defined by
Winfrey,
the love,
where they leveled
compassion, and
serious
purpose they bring
allegations
to
against the
everything they
royal
do.
family.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you're subscribed, and if you want to show a little extra love, please consider sending a super thanks to help us keep going strong. Your support keeps this community vibrant and allows us to keep spreading the truth and the joy. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, my Sussex squad, stay proud, stay loud, and remember, Meghan and Harry's light will never be dimmed by their shadows. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.